Hello everyone, I'm Claire Marie B. Welcome to my channel and my September Plan With Me setup of my full bullet journal monthly spreads. If you've seen my videos before, welcome back. To my new subscribers, thanks for clicking the subscribe link and joining the family. If you haven't subscribed, please click that. It helps me to keep making my videos and it means you'll get told when there's new content that I've released as well. So this month, first of all, I'm bringing back my gold paints. I love these gold paints. If you saw my May setup, you know how much I love these gold paints. It gives you a really nice thick colour. I've put a block on the right-hand side. You'll see what I'm going to be doing with that soon. On the left, I started to set up the quote page while the gold was drying. This has not gone particularly well. You'll see that I make a typo when I'm writing out. As you know, my lettering, I'm trying to practice, I'm trying to get better. I tried something new this month, not sure it worked out really very well, and I just really messed it up. So I did a correction job with some bullet journal paper from the back of my journal, then writing out the quote just in a script writing myself, and then I'll do some decoration as well. So right now it's not looking brilliant, but I promise by the time we finish the cover page spread it's going to look a whole lot better. But this should hopefully give you some tips and hints. If you do go wrong, it's not the end of the world. You can always make some corrections and cover it up. Washi tape's great for that as well, but unfortunately it was too big for washi tape, this problem that I had. This month I'm celebrating autumn and things moving from our bright green leaves on the trees into beautiful golden browns and reds, and so that's the colour scheme that I've chosen for this month. I wanted to create falling leaves and lots of different leaves and print and everything autumnal to embrace that. We haven't had much of a summer in the UK. The stereotypes are quite true. It's been very, very rainy. It just felt the right time to then embrace autumn. My gold bar has then dried, so over the top of that I'm using my Tombow Food and Suco pen. I love that pen. I use it every single month. You can see as well, I've then made a spelling error as well. I just had a really, really bad film this month where I just kept going wrong with all the writing. It happens. And I'm not going to cover that up. I wanted to show everybody that so you can see everybody makes mistakes all of the time. I did some corrections to that as I put a double T in September rather than using the B. As you can see, I did get lucky and I was able to correct that. I could have covered over it, painted over it again and with the gold paint and then done it again, but it was easy to correct, and I used the Sakura white gel pen as well to correct the little bar that I'd put across the T, so you really can't see that very well anymore. Onto my leaves. I picked some different leaf patterns. I looked on Pinterest. I also had a little look at how to do the leaves, and then just did some myself as well. Looked at some inspiration on Google Images of autumn leaves and put them all together from there, and I had some great fun throughout the month drawing out some different leaf patterns and using different colours, different pens. I'm using Tombow pens this month and Crayola Super Tips. For those who've watched my videos before, you know I love my Crayola Super Tips. I have a huge box with tons of different colours in, and they're just such variety, so many different shades of green and reds in there, it's unbelievable. To draw the border, I'm using my Archer and Olive stencil that came with the monthly subscription box. It's a great stencil. You'll see that I use it in addition on some of the other pages and see what I can do with it. It has, as I said last month, I was a little rough-handed and already made a split in it. It's maybe not as rigid as a ruler, so I've noticed that I get a little bit of flex with it, but there are some unique parts of it where we've got circles that I can do as the semicircles on there. There's also rows that are all marked out the same spacing as a bullet journal dot grid as well. So you can put the ruler down or the stencil down and then make multiple lines in a row over and over again without having to lift it up, which is really good. The only thing I would say is it is a little thin in between the lines, the plastic there, so you do have to be careful because it flexes as you draw. So if you're trying to be really sturdy, you've just got to be a little more gentle with it. So some touches of washi tape, that's it. The cover page is done. Onto my monthly calendar. Those of you who've watched my videos before will know that I was trying to get better at freehand and drawing the lines myself. It started to become too wobbly, take up too much time, so I flipped to using the stencil for a little while. And certainly when I was messing up the writing on the cover page, I didn't trust myself to start drawing straight lines either this month. I'm adding some washi tape along the top of the calendar spread for me to write the days of the week in, and then I'm using the Tombow brush pen to highlight across the top of the boxes, and that's where I'm going to write the numbers of each of the days of the week in as well. I have drawn an extra box for eagle-eyed people out there. I did miscount and do an extra box. I'm potentially going to cover it up with some washi tape, may leave it and put some notes or bits and pieces in there anyway. I might do a little word of the month or something like that. So as I've said, any mistakes that are ever made, you can always incorporate them into whatever you're doing that month and make something of them rather than thinking it's ruined your page, because it really doesn't. I'm repeating my leaf pattern down the page to create a divider, and on the right hand side I'm going to do a task list for the month. I find this really useful for me for organising, as there's tons of things that I have to do in the month, but it doesn't always they don't always have a specific day of the week that I have to do them on. So if I put things in advance on this page, when it comes to writing out my weekly spreads, I can then transfer everything from here into the right place, or just use this as a go-to place as well. Just adding some flecks of the gold paint to really brighten up the page and keep the theme cohesive from one page to the next. This paint, not only does it dry really solid, but it's also really fast drying as well. It's super quick. I can't recommend it enough. So I have the gold set, and it has a silver on there as well, which I haven't used yet, but I am looking into potentially using that soon. My monthly calendar spread. Onto my content page. Apologies, I started to write this page, then realised I hadn't pressed record, so that's why we have the big content already written on this page. For those people who've watched my videos before, you know I love doing a Dutch door, and I try to incorporate one every single month. This month I'm doing it across my content and trackers page in a slightly different way than what I would normally do. So I'm starting to create that on the right hand side, and I'm creating a middle section that's actually going to be for my trackers. Everything will become clearer really soon. On the left hand side of the page, I've left that for some notes, and on the right hand side, that's going to be the trackers. I got to use my new toy there for the first time this month, and that rounds the corners for me. That was something I just got off Amazon. Again, I'll list that in the supplied section. This is what I was talking about with the stencil, where you can hold the stencil down and it's got lines in the middle gaps in the middle where you can then draw multiple lines without having to move it, which is super, super handy. So as you can see, I've used it to draw out 2 rows of 15 boxes. These are going to be the trackers for the month. I'm going to have 6 this month. For the trackers, I've drawn 30 boxes, and I'm going to put a different leaf in each, and I'm going to colour the leaf in a specific colour to represent my mood for that day. I normally have happy and sad, grumpy or angry, and productive. Generally, I find I'm a very, very happy person, so it's quite rare that I am sad or angry and grumpy. It's good to track that just to see if there's any patterns for me, and on top of that, I like to track my productivity, so that's why I do this more, to see how many productive days have I had in the month. To make this page a little different and have a bit more colour, a bit more pop, I've decided this month to colour in the background in a few of the squares. So I've chosen a couple of Tombow pens that are in brown, shades of brown, and I'm highlighting the back of the leaves, and then, as I said, I'll colour those in because the backgrounds will match with any of the colours that I've chosen as the highlighter colour for the mood. But in addition to this, I felt that it wasn't bright enough on this page, so I also decided to do some of the boxes in gold, which was quite ambitious to do that. When I've drawn everything out and felt really proud of how it looks, I decided to try the gold paint. It could have all gone horribly wrong. However, I'm really pleased how it did come out. I managed to still paint the gold well so that it gave a really good coverage across, but I managed to not cover over the leaves or be too wobbly in the lines. At least I think I wasn't too wobbly. You can see that the gold, as I tilt the book, gives a really good shine and shimmer. I like to tilt the book because I think it's quite hard for you to see the full reflection of the gold and how good it is as a colour in a paint, just from the angle that I've got the camera at. So that's why I keep tilting the book, so that you can see that better. We're now on to my final spread for the month, which is the September memories. I used to do more of a brain dump page. I made that half page at one point. I have been loving doing this spread for the last few months, and I'm going to keep on doing this at the moment. I'm able to put pictures in here. I like having it as like a notebook style. Can then add in my anything that's going on that month. So favourite foods is one of the things that I'm doing this month. That's a new little sticky note that I've drawn in. I've got my TV, my films. I normally do a big spread in my yearly setup to track the films, the TV shows and things like that I'm watching. But I'm enjoying breaking it down because I keep forgetting to go back to that big spread. And in addition to that, once you've filled a bullet journal up at the start of the year, which I have by the middle of the year, I either have to draw the great big spread again or go back to an old bullet journal, which is something that I forget to do. So I've been enjoying putting this into a monthly spread instead, and it's easier for me to keep track of and doesn't feel as much of a chore, and I don't forget about it because I'm operating in that month all the time and flipping through these pages. The words note on the left hand side, this is where I've been doing word of the day. I started that in January and I kept it up. It got to the middle of the year and I thought, I can't stop this now, so I kept going. And that's why I think I keep coming to the TV and films bit, and I don't forget to add things in, because every day I'm coming to fill this section in. Some washi tape and some extra colour and decoration, and there we have my September memories. So here's my full flip through for the month. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed my video. Please subscribe to hear of new content when I release it. See you next month. Bye.